Does anyone join? And you shall not glean your vineyard, neither shall you gather every grape of your vineyard. Look at Vayikra 19:10. You shall leave them for the poor and the ger. I am Yahweh. Vayikra 25:35. If your brother becomes poor and falters in your area, then you shall strengthen him, that he may live with you, just like you would the ger or the sojourner. There's more grace in the Torah than there is in the New Testament. Did you know that? That when your brother, physical brother, not spiritual, physical brother, when your brother, we used to be a famous Wall Street broker, but now he came into a season of poverty, you are to strengthen him, and that he may live with you, to take care of him as if you would take care of a stranger or a sojourner. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are not just called to take care of the poor in Israel, but when our brother or sister or mother or father become poor, we take them in and we strengthen them. It didn't start in Matthew 25. Yeshua was reminding us what we should have been doing instead of heaping it on ourselves and on our own lusts. Do you understand? Do you understand? Or do I need to go back to the beginning of the message? So tell me you understand if you don't want me to go back to the beginning. Devarim 15:4. Watch this. I'm talking about salvation, the poor, and the two-house restoration connection. Look at Devarim 15:4. Listen to this together. Tell me this doesn't blow your mind. Now, what do we do in today's society? Our brother used to be rich, now he's broke. Well, he's just getting his turn. Now he knows what it feels like. Let the government take care of him. Let him get food stamps. Let him go on welfare. Not in Israel. In Israel, you open your house, strengthen your brother until he's back on his feet. Yes. Physical brother. Amen. Not spiritual brother. Physical brother.
Yes.
And what happens if he's a member of the Masonic Lodge? Take him in. What happens if he's a Jesuit? Take him in. What happens if he's a Hare Krishna? What happens if the guy comes home every day? Hare Krishna. He got a big ponytail. Take him in, strengthen him, fix his pocket and his doctrine. Do it all. Don't pass it to the state. Don't let him become a ward of the state. You take care of your brother in Israel. Deuteronomy 15:4. This will blow your mind. You listening down to you? There shall be no poor among you. Look at it.
That's right. That's right.
Now Yahweh's not talking about the world. Among those who know to do good, among those who have emunah, among those who are called to be gadar peretzim, among us there shall be no poor. Because if everybody finds one or two people to lift up, their joy can return, and Israel could be cleansed of poverty. Yahweh's not a liar. Yahweh's not a liar. Yahweh says, in Yisrael, if you do what I'm telling you to do, there will be no poor among you. And you know, we look at that and we go, that is an impossibility. Right on, Bubba. Because what is impossible with men is always possible with you. As long as Clinton and Butch are at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, it's impossible. But in our camp, it is possible. In our camp, it is possible to wipe out poverty and discrimination. It is possible. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. We are Joseph's Torah of many colors. If we choose the fast that Yahweh has chosen. But if we keep staying at home wondering why we don't have a car, why we don't have a wife, husband, why we were born on the wrong side of the cemetery, not the tracks, we're past the tracks, we're in the cemetery. Alright? I mean, thinking about all the injustice that the white folks have done to us. Alright? And you white folks thinking about a colored fellow who looked cross at you 35 years ago, and now you're scared of all blacks. You just can't fellowship with them. Just can't break bread with them because you just some guy looked cross-eyed at you 35 years ago. All right? I mean, come on. You understand? Israel is supposed to be echad. We are supposed to lose ourselves and find life. I am telling you, there is a cure for depression. There is a cure for despondency. There is a cure for self-centeredness. If you find one or two people that have more problems than you and spend most of your time meeting their needs, Yahweh says, I will bring health to your bones. I will turn your darkness into noonday. You either believe him or you disbelieve him. There is no in between. And I'm being, can we talk? I have a little selfish motive here. I have a bad hip. Things are not hip in my house all the time. Now, I want to get healed. That means I got to find some poor folks who really have trouble, not knowing where their next meal's coming from, and kind of take them under my wing so my hip can get straightened out. That's what this is talking about. This is not about pie in the sky theology. This is talking about practical, rubber meets the road, Isaiah 58, Matthew 25 theology.
Yes.
You need health? Go minister to those who are not healthy.
Yes. Amen.
You need love? Give love.
Yes.
You need forgiveness? Find someone that you haven't forgiven. Whatever a man sows, that shall he reap.
Also read every time.
Be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that shall he reap. Hallelujah 6:7. Devarim 15:4. Look. There shall be no poor among you, for Yahweh will greatly bless you in the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you for an inheritance to possess. Listen, brothers and sisters, it is our call to make sure all our brethren have the basics. What did Yeshua say? When you've done it to the least of these, my brothers, you've done it to Yahweh. Yeshua, when you've done it to the least of them, if you're doing this, if you're acting like you're doing it to me, there'll be no poor among you. Hello? Hello? If you act like you're doing it to me, there'll be no poor among you. You know what my heart is? It's not because I have a great heart, it's just my heart. I wish I could employ everybody in this ministry. Full time, because that's what I know that's where the blessing is. I got to get rid of the bad hip. Now that's not capable, that's not possible right now, but maybe one day, if my heart is right and Yahweh is willing, that'd be possible, right?
It's coming.
I do what I can, but I'd love to employ 30 people. Baruch Hashem, there shall be no poor among you. And Yahweh says frightening words through his son, Yahshua, frightening. He says that when you don't make sure there's no poor among you, and you don't reach out to the hurting and those who are oppressed, he says, you'll be part of the goat company that has not been called to inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world, and you will depart into everlasting fire. That's some serious, scary, frightening stuff. That's not my theology. To this day, that's not my, but I'll tell you what, it sure challenges my theology. Yeshua says if you don't minister to the hurting and the less fortunate in your people, you will be a candidate for hellfire. How do I square that teaching from the lips of Yahweh's Son with evangelical doctrine? That I've been taught it's all up here. If you accept in your heart Yeshua as Lord and believe that Yahweh raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. And then I come across Matthew 25:46. How do I square that? I have trouble with that. But I'll tell you what, it'll make you think, won't it? Hello? It'll make you think. If my salvation is somehow intertwined and interdependent with me finding the hurting and the less fortunate and the broken among my people, and I'm not doing it, and that means I'm not saved. I don't know. Maybe you have your own interpretation, but it's some serious. This is not from Buddha. This is not from Senator Joseph Biden. This is from Yeshua. This is Yahweh's Son. Look at Devarim 15:4. There shall be, doesn't say, well, get a couple of programs, put them together, and trust Yahweh for the rest. It doesn't say that. It says, you remove the yoke, Isaiah 58:8 and 9. You remove the yoke, and you make sure there's no poor among you. Is that a command? What is a mitzvah? A command. You make sure there are no poor among you. Whew. Wow. No, you mean Yahweh. You mean, no. That means if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a believer, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a believer, everyone in the camp will have food, clothing, and shelter. Maybe not a Cadillac, maybe not a BMW, maybe not a car dealership, but everyone will be covered, everyone will be fed, everyone will have shelter, everyone will be, because Yahweh is working through us, and what's Yahweh's promise to us? I'll take all your dark areas. Sexual perversion, lying, manipulative spirit, dishonesty, inordinate affections, addictions, compulsive, addictive personality. I'll loose it. I'll loose it. I will loose it.
Amen.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And I know you have things in your life that you want to loose, right? And when Yahweh starts with me, you can start right here. Right here. Yahweh, look, come. Please, Yahweh. Please. Make a focus right here. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now watch this. Devarim 15:7. If there is among you, we got to go fast because of time. If there is among you a poor man, one of your brothers, within any of your gates in your land, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, you shall not harden your lave, nor shut your hand from your poor brother. You shall open your hand. Depends on what you have in the bank. You shall open your hand, but don't forget, whatever you can't do, food stamps will come along and compensate. Is that what it says? Well, you open your hand, but, make sure you use the sacred name and make sure he has no Jesuit and Masonic Lodge connections. And make sure he doesn't believe in the rapture, because if your brother believes in the rapture, don't give him diddly squat. See, those are the violent blows that Yahweh warns us, and the finger pointing. Remember in Isaiah 58 when we started this teaching?
Yes.
Before all y'all came late, there's a little Jewish guilt. If you find a brother who believes in the rapture, don't feed him. Open that hand, but don't go all the way until he comes around. I know, because that's the way I think. I want to treat Daryl better than I treat someone on the outside. Why? He believes in the true name. He doesn't believe in the rapture. He believes in the Shabbat and the Moedim. He's just like me. Yahweh says, that's not what I'm talking about. There'll be no poor in Israel. What part of no poor don't you understand?
No.
Even those who believe in the rapture need to be taken. The hand shall be wide open to your brother. Now watch this. You shall not harden your lave, nor shut your hand from your poor brother. But you shall open your hand wide to him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need in what he needs. Beware. Turn to your neighbor and say, where be? Beware. Where be? Beware. That there is no thought of Belial. What's another word for Belial? S period, A period. That there is no thought of Belial in your lave heart, saying, the 7th year of Shemitah is here, and your eye is evil. Remember Yeshua said, beware unless your eye is evil? He wasn't talking about going to the doctor in case you had retina detachment. That's a Hebraic idiom. You cheap. When Yahshua said don't have an evil eye, he was not saying you have a cataract, take it out. He was saying, don't be cheap. Open up your hand wide to your brother and sister.
Amen.
Don't just give them the leftover turkey. Cook them a fine meal. Don't just give them a used car. Go out to the dealership and buy a new one for them, if you can. As wide as it can open, that's how wide you are to open it. Not how wide it's comfortable to open, but how wide you can open it. That's how wide it should be open. But be careful, because in the 7th year comes Shemitah, and if you get cheap against your brother and you don't let him eat of your field, not just the payout, the corners, but all of your field, and you do not give him the release to eat of your field in the year of release, Shemitah, sabbatical, and he prays or cries to Yahweh against you, it will become sin for you. Verse 10. You will surely give the poor his release, and your labor will not be grieved when you give it to him, because for this thing Yahweh your Elohim will bless you in all your works, and your bones, and your health, and all that you put your hand to undertake, if you do not have an evil eye. You want to end depression and despondency? Get rid of the evil eye. You want to end unforgiveness, anger, bitterness? Get rid of the evil eye. You want to be the employer and not the employee? Get rid of the evil eye. Forget about yourself. That's the hardest thing to do as a believer. Can you honestly say what Rav Shaul said in Galatians 2:20? I am crucified with Mashiach, nevertheless I live. For the life I now live, I live in the faith by the Son of Yahweh, who loved me and gave himself for me. I am crucified with Mashiach, meaning I don't live for my 80 years, I live for others, and when I lose my life, I'll find it. That's why when you lead someone to the Lord or to Yeshua, you have more joy than when you find out what time you light Shabbat candles. What gave you more vision, more excitement, more joy? When you led someone to Yeshua and everlasting life, or when you found out how big the challah should be on the table?
Uh-oh.
Tell me, what brought you more permanent, lasting joy? That's where I lost it. You see, not that it was wrong to eat challah. As you can tell, this boy's been eating a lot of challah. They're not wrong to eat challah. But when you lose the joy of salvation, the joy of hearing his voice, I'd rather go back and hear him talk to me once a week than keep a year's worth of Shabbats. Because when I hear his voice, I know it is well. He's well. If he's well, I'm well. If I'm well, it is well with my soul. I'd rather have one Rhema word than one Shabbat instruction video. Or 10 Shabbat instruction videos. Laodicea. You don't want to be like, you want to be a Kehillah. You don't want to be like Laodicea and leave your first love. That was my first love.
Hear Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Shema Yisrael.